All right. Hello, everyone. So my name's Erin. I'm just one of the co-founders of Curve Club, private members club for founders and investors. But today's not about me. It's about our fabulous panel. So I'll be introducing them from this way on. So we have Spicy Bruno, extra spicy. He runs all of... Woo! Yeah, that didn't get you excited. Runs all of Web3 in Portugal and Europa. We also have Colin. Just the biggest round of applause. Let's go. Runs all of Web3 for Scotland. Quietly, his biggest client's the government, so you may have heard of him. We also have Bullish Dumpling. Big round of applause for Bullish Dumpling. She's obviously like an influencer. Like, I feel like you get the point. And then last but not least, we have Olena. So big round of applause. She's going to be handling anything social media, PR, content creation when it comes to creating a community. So today's panel is all about like community, as in like everyone here, I think, has really successfully built one, is building one, and I think what we really want to know is what's been going really well, what are the biggest challenges, what are key learnings, let's not be shy. So I think before we get into all of that, I'm just going to do a quick fire round for everyone to answer. If there's two elements that are the biggest keys to success when it comes to building a community, what would they be? Dumpling, I'm actually going to start with you and then go that way.
Thank you, Erin. We did actually rehearse this question, so I can give you right away. The two key elements, I would say, are mission and principles. Mission, why do you build this community? Who it is for? Principles, what we are, what we are not. What should we do, what should we not do?
Colin, you're up next.
So I'd say having a clear value proposition. So like, why am I joining the community? What am I able to extract from that? And then secondly, consistent communication, keeping your community up to date with what you're working on. So.
Nice. Spicy Bruno.
Thank you so much. So true vision, accessibility, hope.
Why stop at two?
In real is a big philosophy. The community is only the reflex of a little part of your vision. For the reason the community growing with your vision. You not centralization the vision. You have a ID, altruist. You split, you spare. And someone like it's growing. That's the spicy life.
Love it. And Olena?
I would go for transparency and the value you're putting on a table.
Okay, love it. All right, and on that note, we're going to have a really punchy 30 minutes, so buckle up. Dumpling, I'm also going to start with you again. So I think, just to provide everyone a little bit of context, you've successfully built like a thriving community over the course of 3 years with thousands of people. I would say, what were your biggest, like, how did you get there? Like, how do you drive engagement over 3 years with over like hundreds of people?
Thank you, Erin. You did me dirty by calling me an influencer, because influencer is sort of a dirty term now in Web3.
I meant it in the best way.
I agree.
I'm going to rename myself educational influencer. For context, I got in crypto because I was simultaneously stupid, greedy, and lazy, and watched YouTubers talking about leverage trading Bitcoin, thinking I would be rich, and of course, I didn't become rich. That's why I started to make my own educational content, and over time, people start to gather around me and say, we need a place to talk to each other and help educate each other. That's how the community took shape. I did not intentionally have a goal and say, I want to build 3,000 people community in 3 years. It was my viewers who pushed me to create a group, started very small, but over time, what I noticed is people are tired of shitty information. If you give them a place with clear boundaries, with strong garden fences, and say, you're only here to educate each other and share useful information, what I noticed is people love that mission, and I got them talking to me like, hey, I'm from Taiwan, I'm from Malaysia, can I join? I want to be a mod for you. They became my mods, and I wanted to pay them. They're like, absolutely not, refused to take payment for some reason, and started to help me grow this community through the bull and the bear. So now, today, the community has almost 3,000 people, and I do a lot of things that are counterintuitive for Web3 communities. For instance, I discourage people to say GM every day in a community. I don't care how many messages or vanity engagement it gets. because the mission is you're here to learn from each other. If you have a question about your wallet, if you have a question about a project, you can ask here, we can help you out, but we're not here for chit-chats, which seems really harsh for many people, and I do realize that some people don't like it, so I create a second group for people to, you can talk shit here, and I create a third group for them to do short-term price speculation chats. I'm not saying this is the best practice, but we are going to have a variety of different kinds of communities. So there's not one best way to build your own. That's why I encourage everyone here, if you're going to build a community, you can definitely experiment, try things out, and don't be afraid to make your own rules.
Would you have done anything differently?
This is going to sound very cocky, but I thought about this yesterday. I genuinely could not think of things I would have done differently. Even though I realized there were fuck-ups on the road, I will still do it again because I would learn from the same things.
What would you say was your biggest fuck-up?
Again, we totally talked about this question before. So at some point, I was pretty nervous about whether the rules were too harsh, and I thought, should I dial down? And I did for a few weeks, and I can tell you the vibe actually kind of dived because people were just in the bear market, whining and complaining a lot. And there was this philosophical debate in my head. It's decentralized, so everyone can say whatever they want. But the result was some OG members told me, I don't really like the vibe at the group. I'm thinking about leaving because it's just really negative, not bringing any value. Then I realized, you need to have your own philosophy. Where do you draw the line? For me is, if you're impairing the value of the group, then you're welcome to go elsewhere. But this is my group and I make the rules. And it's very difficult for me because I believe in open-mindedness. And that's one of the biggest learnings, That's why I say principles. For people, of course it's nice to say what we are, but it's even more important to say what we are not. And you need to clearly communicate to people in your group chat, in your rules, in your pinned messages.
Nice. And last one on this one, but what would you say was your biggest learning or takeaway, if you had to wrap it up into a hot take?
Communities can take different shapes and forms. And I got the privilege because it's a personal group. I get to make the rules. Not everyone has that privilege. If you're running a group for your project or a company, you have KPIs. You probably are pushed or you have the pressure of engagement numbers. It is up to you to decide what is more important. Is that a value or is that you meet a certain KPI? And I can't make that decision for you.
Okay, amazing. Well, we'll still hear from you again. But Colin, quick question. I feel like everyone's probably curious. You run all of Web3 Scotland to accelerate and grow it. How did you end up working with the government of Scotland?
Well, so Scotland's had, there are a lot of developers, founders, builders all over Scotland. But previously there had been a small number of segregated communities spread across the country, but there hadn't been one main event to bring them together. So there were conversations taking place in small rooms with the wrong people in there, and ultimately there wasn't really any action taking place. So ultimately we started this idea of hosting this major Web3 event in Scotland, and it's on the back of that, as we kind of grew and that kind of interest grew, that then these conversations with the likes of the government, took place, and then they were obviously keen to get involved because, blockchain's a major growth area. It's something that, despite other regions being more advanced and more involved in this space, in Scotland, the government, there wasn't really much happening at that kind of level. So when they learned of this major event taking place and saw the kind of caliber of individuals that were involved, they immediately kind of came to the table and obviously wanted to have a platform to promote themselves and their initiatives and what they're all about. And actually, in the process of working on Blockstart, there was actually, this blockchain and digital trust task force has been formed in the back of that. So we're now seeing it's really catalyzed the environment, and there are more and more smaller events that are taking place that are really kind of helping, boost the environment and getting more people involved in Web3 and blockchain. So yeah, pretty much just by doing something and getting the right people involved, it created that impetus to get the government at the table.
Okay, epic. And I feel like at that point, that's probably when more challenges came. So how do you actually go about when it comes to like acceleration and engagement and growth? So I feel like that's what you're doing.
Yeah, I think authenticity. You need to be authentic. You need to turn up. You can't expect things to happen overnight. I'll tell you firsthand, and I'm sure Harry and Jolien will tell you as well. When they started out, like organising an event from scratch, and Jamie as well, who I see is in the crowd with East London. It's one of the most challenging and difficult things to start an event from scratch. You really have to stick with it. There are times, you know, even trying to get sponsors on board and people on board, where you kind of like it'd be easy to give up or, you know, listen to the naysayers and just like, you know, not go ahead with it. But what I would say is be committed, you know, believe in your vision and yeah, just go with it. And it's totally worth it in the end, bringing people together and, you know, creating that environment.
What would you say was like your biggest challenge?
Challenge was going from ideation to then reality. That was like just the whole process was so challenging right up until the day. And then there afterwards, you can take like a deep breath and then you can actually, you know, take in and enjoy, you know, what's taken place. But the entire process was challenging.
What was like the catalyst that made it successful though? Like what was the tipping point where you're like, no, looking back now, we're doing it?
Yeah, I think that's something that's internal in yourself. You really need to just believe in the vision, because at the end of the day, you know, you have a team of people and that, but they're kind of looking to you for guidance. So, like, if you're not believing in what you're doing, then it's pointless. So really, it's just having that internal, you know, drive and just committing to it.
Nice. And then I think for everyone here, they're probably involved in communities. They might even run their own communities. Like, what were your biggest like takeaways or learnings from you running what you're doing?
I mean, there's always an audience out there for whatever you're communicating. You just have to find them. So it's like sticking with it, getting a good idea of where to look, how to connect people. And then, yeah, just going back to what I said, frequency of events. So maybe have some smaller events in the lead up to the big event and just getting that kind of energy going and momentum.
Nice. All right, epic. Well, we'll be circling back to everyone, so don't worry, it's not the last of it. Spicy Bruno?
Yes.
All right, I think everyone's curious. Like, you're obviously a brand, but like, how did you first start? Like, when were you just Bruno, not Spicy Bruno, you know?
So when I start as first the Web3, as in Web2 in real, Chili Banks is a label music for most of the people as live in Lisbon from 2018 2020, first the lockdown, has participate a lot of parties. So the vision of the label has to show up all the DJs of the town, the culture of the DJs electro music from Portugal too. And up of this, the benefit is when you have people support your project, you want to give some things in return. So my crazy idea is starting to create this tattoo and these necklaces to give still. You don't pay the entrance, but the people start to pay the tattoo, to make the tattoo, and to buy the necklaces for come free in the next event. So I agree with you about it's not the quantity, it's the quality. But sometimes you have some people start in the quality to have quantity, and this is the mass adoption. And the mass adoption of my label, you have 2,000 people already with this tattoo for coming in these events. For the reason he has believed in the vision, has liked what you have feel in the experience. So connecting with people, not network, but connecting with the people. So that's the first point, start.
Before you go into that first point, how did you make it so then 2,000 people have the tattoo? You know,
So,
how do you go from like who you are to we're tatted, we're here?
So the point, all the parties as recording, take pictures, and the people, you have some people here, I feel we have one, is Victor, you here?
Let's see the tat.
Victor, you here or not? No, maybe he's not here, but he has the tattoo. You have some people here in the event, he has the tattoo. So the point is, you know, in the past life, tribal people, for remember moments, you do the tattoo. Vikings, Maya, Egyptians. So I am a spirit guy. For me, crypto is a lot about frequencies and spirits too. So I think too, in the past, when I make the tattoo, is something the people go remember the experience. If you like, I give you this option to come everywhere for free and to bring you friends too. So that's the first point when I start the community. And during the lockdown, I don't have issue. No more money, a kid, I don't know what I need to do. I'm not the guy crazy to make events and to have the cops next during the lockdown. It's impossible. So I have the lucky to have met Natasha. Is a girl. She's here in the stage. She's my girl too. And some moment she have a friend. She tell, look, I have. She's a singer. I don't go tell the name, but I have a friend. He's a partner of Solana. He want to make a private meetup during the Solana Breakpoint in 2021 in Lisbon. You have a label. You have an opportunity. You want to make this? Yes. I start to make the event. I explained the tattoo, the necklaces. And the guys, Bruno, you know what is a DAO? You know what is the community for us is the powerful. So first I think, okay, it's cool to share directly. But come the moment when you start to understand the process, you see such shark people want community only for pump and not for educate and onboarding people from outside. If you ask for the people here, how much people is in the world in crypto, it's only 6.28%. How much wallets you have here? So you need to cut, it's nothing. So from my perspective, my point of view, when I start the event, I obviously want to educate myself. When you go to some meetups, one is not bear market. When it's bull market, the ego is as here, and nobody want to give a shit for your time, and don't educate anyone. It's go only tell, oh, you're not a Bitcoiner, you don't have make this, oh, the train is past, ciao. So I have create an event, the Web3 Wednesday. What I have make, same of you, sit down, attendees, put people to speak, educate myself, building the community in Lisbon, put together the people, and some moment, some people here, advisors, as tell Bruno, you need to make this, NFT, maybe for create in the ecosystem, to onboarding more in the Web3. I have educated myself, I have made this Web3 Wednesday, Web3 Women Summit, Chile Banks, start to go everywhere, speak, onboarding the community, media partner, money or not money, doesn't make shit. For the reason, you'd never go win nothing if you don't have knowledge. Your knowledge is your asset. So I don't have ask nothing in real for the people. If he give me with the real intention to make some things. For the reason, some people, you want only the sponsors, you want the photo, you want all these points. Yes, but when you go to the party, you have 2 years, 3 years, 1 year, and you put all together, and you go to the taxi, you go to the party together too. So it's the same. The community is the owner of your vision, is the owner of all this. It's not me, it's not the sponsor. You are here only to share the knowledge, the opportunity to this ecosystem, take wings to fly everywhere, everywhere. So that's engagement, and this is community.
Yeah, it feels like there's a lot going on. So like how like what's involved in that engagement? Like what are like the key things that you do to keep people engaged outside of just like events?
When you buy the Nike, it's for which reason you buy a Nike, a shoes Nike?
Oh yeah.
You like?
I love.
Okay, do it. I give this example. I'm not following Nike, but do it. So how much here? Do it really. Do it is stand up, go to direction of someone. Nice to meet you. Who are you? Not what do you have? What is the product? Fuck the product. Who are you? What is your vision? My engagement today, I don't want to make too much public, but tangent. A wallet. I make a simple video for the reason I feel super smart, super cool, blah, blah, blah. I share for my community, but I'm not a tangent, but I start to make engagement for some things is a solution, is some things possible, friendly to have onboarding. The guys, they give me this for my engagement. So every details you do in your life has an impact full in next. So for my engagement is to be honest, transparent, active, persistent, resilient, fire as fuck, and never bullish only for pictures. Yesterday, I don't make my hat for the people who don't recognize me. I don't want this. I'm more one in this world, the same of everyone here. But together, it's going to make the difference. And that's where you give an example of engagement for the people. For this, the people follow you. It's not for the reason your wallet is with Bitcoins. Most of the guys with Bitcoins is in Dubai. He see you here and laughing. You are here, he is drinking the wine and champagne.
And we are here with building, pay the fly, go outside, bring people, and sometimes the people speaking. We are here, builders, to give the opportunity for other builders put a seed and make a garden. Same shit all.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like every builder can relate on one thing, and it's that we've all messed up before. What would you say was like your biggest fuck up when you're doing this? Because you're in front of a lot of people, you're doing a lot of things.
Every fuck up I have, and the biggest I have, it's to realize to not have take my time. My time is my value. So my biggest fuck up in my life, really, has to not believe in my capacity first of one. You know, when you start to believe in only what the people tell you, and you want to make your best for the reason everyone tells. So in the past life, in Switzerland, I have the issue to go to the big university or to go to the underground. What I have choice? The underground. But in real, in Portuguese you tell, sometimes in the shit you find the diamond. And my playground is from the wood. I have an engineering civil diploma, but I'm fucking happy of the choice. SM Chitel, you're growing with your errors. It's only an apprentissage.
Nice.
It's do easy.
Can I add to what Bruno was saying about, you were asking about engagement, and he mentioned shared ownership. I think that's super pertinent for not only community building, but also marketing 3.0 in Web3, is you will notice you are marketing with your community. Your community is your spokesperson. The way they behave, the way they talk, they are your ambassadors. And that's why having principles and defining what we are not is essential, because they help you stand out. You're not the sole owner of the group. If you have enabled people to feel they own this group with you, no matter how you do it, could be you're doing events together, could be you're making rules together, could be you're making the marketing slogan together. They feel they own the group with you. Now, not only do you have followers, members, you have shareholders, free spokesperson, marketing representatives. That's why it's key. When you ask about engagement, that's how you get people engaged. Make them feel they own it with you.
Okay, love that. Last question for you. What would be your biggest learning after doing all of this? You've said you've only been in Web3 for 3 years now.
Listen my community. Listen the people. He has the problem. You are normally the solution outside for the reason you are here. So the opportunity to open some doors, to have a coffee for free. So to listen the people is the best goal I have made. I have listened Natasha 3 years ago make this event. Ivan Slutra is coming at 5 p.m. here, the biggest ambassador of Bored Ape, one of the biggest guy. I have listened him when he tell Bruno, you need to understand what is a DAO, a DeFi, the words, only for not to lose a little the momentum. So learn with people. Exactly, this is my best goal. If I am here today, thank you so much for each of you here.
Love that. Love it. And Olena, I feel like you have a very different view. I feel like you've worked with lots of corporates, lots of different brands. Do you want to give just a quick intro of like different projects that you've worked on for context?
Yeah, so definitely. I'm more specialized on digital art, NFTs and digital components of it. And I actually, I did a lot of corporates. I also had experience of building my own community within an educational webinars that are promoting the artists in the space. So it's slightly different experience, but also quite fascinating one.
So when it came to kind of similar questions, building your communities, like how did you scale it? How did you what was like the backbone of it? How did you use social media? What content did you make?
So it was mentioned before, but we always learn by our mistakes. And the thing with me is that I never had an opportunity to do something from scratch. My first experience was actually like I came into the role and they give me this, all the social media accounts, and together it would be like 1 million community. And I was terrified. Like I didn't know what raffle meant. Like I didn't know any idea, like the meaning, the translation of this word. I didn't know how to launch Twitter Space and things like that, so I had to discover. And what performs the best is basically pivoting when it's needed, when your community says you need, listening to your community and understanding its needs, right? You have a KPI for a reason, and you also have this target audience for a reason. And so in my experience, like, we had a moment when we were selling a really high quality digital and physical art, and we just like uploaded the prices, and our audience was like, are you crazy? It's like too much, it's too expensive. So we had to recount everything, every single cost to reduce the price x2, so our community can afford it and can still be satisfied by the quality of art they collected, but also by the price. This and another thing I've been seeing a lot is that people in Web3 love doing giveaways. And what is like really disappointing is when you're doing a giveaway and you're giving away some crappy things you don't need, you know, like 1 hour not worth anything token if you do this and this and this. And it's just like, it doesn't make sense. Like, if you're doing a giveaway, like, give out something you would value, you would enjoy. In a way, like, you know, when you're giving a present for someone, you are likely giving away something you would enjoy having yourself. And the same thing is with insensitives and with a community. I hope this answers your question.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. I would say, like, what was the platform that like performed best for you? I feel like everyone's always interested in like insights. I feel like you've done the most with like different types of social media, different like avenues like that. What did you see worked the best?
So one company we were working with, we had traditional art department, so basically crazy expensive artworks. And this is ridiculous, but the best platform was WhatsApp, right? Not Telegram, WhatsApp, the worst messenger ever. But yeah, some like collectors who enjoy traditional artworks just prefer this platform. I never knew it before, but they have this like kind of like social media channels where you can communicate and upload updates. But it's definitely X, formerly Twitter, for everything Web3 related. And you just have to give it a time and your own patience to work it out, to find your audience, to find people who make this time spent on Twitter valuable and enjoyable and fun. But yeah, I would highlight X as the main platform.
Nice. And I think since you have like a different perspective, even though you're always supposed to listen to everyone and like that's the key thing, what were like the different KPIs that you saw that were always the same that like people need to be tracking if they were to track different KPIs?
So I would just focus on X and the performance that we can see on X. When it comes to engagement, views, I would say it's bullshit at most of the projects, right? Because they pay $5 for one post to perform well, which is like sad, guys, be realistic. You have 100 views, and that's fine. That's real people. That's like people who are sitting here in the audience. It's not some bots from in the middle of nowhere.
You can pay $20 for better bots, but they're still bots. We upgraded now. That's why it's bullshit. I agree with you.
Yeah, so I would say like the main idea is to focus on these platforms like Discord, where you actually see the real people and real communication, because like likes and retweets can be fun when you're doing a giveaway or something, but if you're talking about like real engagement and real devotion of your community, it would be messages and this interaction that is happening between you and them.
All right, we only have 5 minutes left. I feel like we're ripping through this. So I'm just going to actually go through. I'm going to start with you again, Dumplings. We'll go around. Like when it comes to the actual future of community, I noticed that like our session was like tagged like NFT. So it's just like, I'm so curious to you guys, like, what do you think are going to be the future tools of a community? Of like, what does that look like?
I have not prepared for this question, and we are very short on time, so I'm going to give some practical tips instead, if that's okay with you. So I agree with you. I cringe at these KPIs. I call them empty calories. You can have 10,000 messages every day, people just saying GM, GM, and sending pictures, low effort. What value is it really? I don't think that's very valuable. So if you are a founder or you're starting your own projects, community, I would advise, no matter how big of a budget you have, start to build your community with your own hands first. Don't hire someone to do it. And I'm not trying actively to even dump on any marketing agency service provider out there. We all know how scammy some of them can be. I'm only saying this because there are unspeakable, really intricate, really spiritual things of your community that only you as the founder, as a team member can understand. That's why, starting from scratch, you need to do it. You need to define the culture. You need to shape the personality of your community. If later you're scaling and you want to hire someone, sure, but make sure you educate them and they know, they speak you, they speak your project.
Tools, to be honest, just more IRL events. It's blockchain's about decentralization, but the way that people come together and learn is to be at an in-person event. So more events and more events like Zebu.
I was about to say, what type of events would you do? What would you highlight?
Also just a variety, the type and structure of events. So, you could, people have been talking about the metaverse for a while, but that's been hit or miss. I think the largest metaverse is like Roblox at the moment, but I think any of the audience members here, I don't imagine there's too many of them that are mucking about in Roblox. So, just more IRL events and different sizes, like small, medium, whatever, online, but IRL.
Culture? We are a culture, a new culture in this world. Web3 culture. Blockchain, the tool. Crypto, your asset from your knowledge. So my best advice for everyone is to make 2 pass down, breathe, and to think really what you do in this market, in this space. If you want to put a seed, go make an impactful. My kid one day go use my NFT maybe for the gym, the token of someone, the database for recruitment. So figure out this in your mind. Everything you do makes impact. So if you want to see this not only a party, crazy, in the book, the story of my son one day, oh papa, you are only a crazy guy, you have just to make some things. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Everyone, let's fucking go. No. Let's fucking go. I want to live. Let's fucking go. Up, everyone.
We'll get him at the end. Last one.
Dismissed.
Last one, and then we'll get him.
I think I'm bullish on the way we can support micro influencers in this space, right? Especially on Twitter, they have written that they don't have this algorithm yet to promote smaller accounts, but there are a lot of passionate people with a smaller accounts. So I'm looking forward to this. This is kind of the algorithm for Caster Hat, right? When you can develop something and create something and you would get interactions that you deserve. So this is something I will be looking ahead.
All right, Epic, I think you had one last thing you want to share. You said, I can't forget.
Yes. I want to share the last things. 4 and 5 June, Lisbon, non-fungible conference. So, I am here last the 14th. My only engagement is to be here with you and to provide the opportunity to come in this event, show up what you do, your performance, your work, and let's fucking go.
All right, now let's fucking go.
1, 2, 3, let's fucking go.